rather than emailing me. Email tu is the last choice. If Google Form doesn't work, if I still haven't received your your answer, say after 30 minutes, I still haven't received both on Spectrum and also Google Form, I will ask you to email me. I will PM you lah, or use the WhatsApp group. Preferably 2 ways, each through Spectrum, because this one is mandatory by UM. The second one is Google Form, because this one is a good way for me, for us to collect your attendance. Google Form, bagus ni. The submitted after allocated time will not be accepted and marked as usual. Prohibited from discussing. Ini. Jangan cakap kita tak want. Candidates are prohibited from discussing with anyone during the duration of the examination. So discussion here is in 2 ways. One, through verbal, you side by side with your housemate, for instance. Cannot, tak boleh discuss. 2 is the using phone. And how we know later on in your test, in your answer sheet. Somehow lecturers will know this, because sometimes only 3 people have the same answer, 4 people have the same answer. Orang lain dah pergi ke bulan, dia pergi ke Jupiter, because they have the additional brain power lah. That's why dia punya 2 heads are better than 1. They come up with a better answer. Then 2 orang pun jawapan yang sama daripada orang lain. So kita tahu sikit-sikit lah. Answers must be handwritten. Candidates not allowed to type. Betul lah ni. Each answer must have each answer page. Okay, this one please. I think new and old matrix number. So the night or the day or even now before the exam, you can prepare beforehand, because this can take a lot of time untuk tulis the code. The matrix number, the course code. On the day of the exam itself only, letakkan nombor soalan. Put the number of question being answered. The reason why this happened before was we had to print bulk. Faham? Each student katakan 5 answer sheets. So we have 37 students which we have to print. 37 times 5 sheets. Last kali dah beratus-ratus pages. Kadang-kadang tak sempat nak, staple. We couldn't manage to staple. Everything got jumbled up together. So please help us to put the matrix number. Also helping yourself also. We don't want your answer sheet to be lost. So ini penting to be identified later on. Sebab nanti imagine yang buat kerja printing tu, sometimes if the lecturer has his own printer, he will print himself. But if not, he will give to the kerani, to Kak Izan. The clerk, the kerani will print out. That is katakan one lecturer 100 something pages. If she has to print 2 or 3 subjects, you can imagine lah. Everything can be jumbled up together. So please protect your answer script. Prohibited from writing your names, inform about the mediums used. Okay, that's it lah, macam last time. So macam mana kata, BIE 180036 safely submitted through Spectrum and Google Form, like that, like the last time that you used to inform the lecturer. Okay, so the question that we asked just now, notices, regarding notices. Okay, a few notices in the land acquisition process under the Land Acquisition Act explain the importance of notice. So back to our principles. Mana dia? Recapitulation. Principles, basic principles in land acquisition. The first one, the right to be given notice. So this was actually the exam question just now, the mock exam question. The right to be given notice. Okay, which is ditanya situ, explain the importance of notice. So inilah, but it must be based on the Federal Constitution. Remember Federal Constitution, the Article 13 states what? Ini pun your exam, your test before, remember? The test must be according to Federal Constitution, right? Article 13 states that private property can only be acquired in accordance to law, and also the other one, adequate compensation must be paid, kan? So in accordance to law tu is linked to the notice requirement. Accordance to law, mestilah diberi notice bahawa the land is likely to be acquired, will be acquired. Again, what else? Notice calling for inquiry, all those notices lah. Notice that we are talking about are these notices. Mana. Not this one. My notice just now. Recapitulation. This one. Notices that we are talking about just now are these notices. Form A, Form B, Form C, Form D, Form E, Form G, H, semualah sekali dengan the sections. Form A and the function of the notice Y. A is for what? Notify proprietor about intention to acquire land. Whereby the effect of the notice is proprietor unable to conduct dealings but still owns the land and enjoys the benefits and profits from the land. So means that he can collect the rent from the land and can still sell the produce of the land. Contohnya orchard land kan, durian tu dia still boleh jual dan boleh menikmati dia punya hasil. But cannot sell the land itself, cannot lease the land itself. Dealings are prohibited. Because nobody wants to buy actually land which is going to be acquired because the new buyer will have to deal with the acquisition process and not getting the land at the end of the day. So much hassle and actually it's prohibited pun dealings. Form B, authorizing person to enter and conduct survey. So everything we have learned before. All the notices have their own purpose. Okay, for A, notifying about intention to acquire. B, authorizing persons to enter and conduct survey. C, is the list of land scheduled to be involved in the acquisition, the scheduled land. D, declaring that the land will be acquired. So all of these. E, setting the date and time for inquiry. So E is notice calling for inquiry, right? G is written award upon completion of the inquiry on the basis of each scheduled land. F is the offer, award offer to the interested person. I is certificate of urgency for urgent cases whereby the government. Sekarang ni, you know the MCO one. Do you know what's happening now with the MCO? State of urgency in Malaysia together with the MCO. Do you notice that one of the items that the PM stated was, okay, sekarang ni, private hospitals at any time the government can dipanggil apa? Appropriate. Dia tak panggil acquire tau. Dia boleh gunakan facilities of private hospitals to deal with the demands of the MCO. Itu bukan land acquisition, but there is another one yang berkenaan land acquisition, which is sekarang ni boleh gunakan kalau ada any kehendak, if there's any requirement for the government to acquire the land, they can use certificate of urgency to acquire land, maybe to construct medical facilities, for instance, hospital ke, klinik ke, macam another apps ke kan, untuk letakkan untuk jadikan quarantine punya area for the COVID-19 patients, can be done now. Sudah cited, sudah apa nama tu? This provision has been included in the PM punya address regarding darurat plus MCO, regarding emergency plus MCO in Malaysia. So this one can be invoked, boleh digunakan, can be applied, can be implemented. Form I. Under Section 19, Certificate of Urgency, whereby state authority can take possession of any acquired land quickly. So in certain cases, so sekarang COVID pun sudah dikira sebagai certain cases tu yang that can be included in the cases that require Certificate of Urgency. Okay, so that was something interesting. Now we see lah if there's any private land being acquired under Certificate of Urgency due to maybe to what you call lagi satu which is quite sad juga. So it's not just for the purpose of quarantine area or medical facilities, but also for burial site, untuk jadikan kubur, kalau tak cukup private land yang sebelah kubur can be acquired for this purpose, to become burial ground or burial site. Kan, sedih kan? Anyway, J, to take possession of building. Okay, J, take possession of building, continuation of to be read together with I. Kalau ada bangunan tu boleh digunakan, if there's a building on the land intended for urgent acquisition, J can be used together with I. But if there's no urgency, also J is used to take possession of the land. K, take formal possession of the land. Form K is to be served and so on. Form L, compel submission of any documents to be delivered to land administrator. And this is the flowchart, flowchart of the forms just now. Okay, beginning with the application, tak adalah ni application form. Ni form A. This is form 1. Form 1 has got nothing to do with the notices given to the proprietor. Notice given to proprietor starts from form A under section 4. And together with that is the period of validity, the timeline. Now we go back to the second principle, no, the third principle. The second principle is the right to speak and make objection. The third principle of land acquisition is expeditious in land acquisition matters. Mesti cepat, menyegerakan, kesegeraan di dalam pengambilan tanah, dalam hal pengambilan tanah. So read together with number 1. The right to be given notice plus must be expeditious in land acquisition matters. So that means that the notice, some of the notices are given expiry date. So are given effective dates. Daripada mana dimula, what's the starting date until what is the end date. So that all the procedure will be done quickly, bukan quickly lah, expeditiously. Secara quickly tu macam kadang-kadang if you use the word quickly, it can indicate that there may be mistakes, it's done in a hurry, kan, tak bercermat, not careful. But if you use the word expeditiously means care has been taken lah. So it's not just quickly but also carefully. So just now go back to this one. Okay, the chart. You see there? Okay, form A has a deadline, 12 months, saya kata. Period of validity, 12 months. Of which, after this, form D must be given. D. Mana, sorry, D pula. D must given, betul. Sini salah ni, mana yang salah? A betul, B betul. This is also B, section 7. No, this is not form D. Salah, siapa buat ni? Not me. Section 7 is the list schedule, list of schedule land. D is the notice that the declaration that the land is confirmed to be acquired, given within 12 months. So if you can imagine, if you do a timeline, you buat satu garisan kan, timeline. Okay, from form A, then form B is not so important. Form B is within the form A period because they want to mengesahkan, they want to confirm that the land is required for. Alah, I tak on kan I punya ni lah pula. If not, I can draw. Wait, use kejap. Baik, kita buat. Kita dah ada facility, kita boleh guna. Kejap, sabar lah. I can use my drawing tablet lah. Kita dah ada, we can draw. Oh. Drawing tablet. Not on yet. Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay, then if we do a timeline. Oh, tak boleh draw je. Oh no, design. Boleh tak draw? Layout. Jamboard ke? Sekejap. Wait. I'm just trying to insert shapes. Squiggly lines. Try. Boleh tak? Boleh. So say this is the timeline. Tak cantiknya. It's okay. So this is the timeline. Baik tulis dengan ni. Oh no. Jamboard. Ya. Jamboard. Oh, ada. Oh, this is good. We use this one lah. Yep. Cannot open ah. Download. Can. This one. Okay, this is good. So we start from below. From before. Oh no, what's happening? From before. She's here. Okay. Section. Wow. Useless. Section. Oh, teruknya. Baru je nak show off. Yeah. The best way is. Okay, wait. Sabar. Semua orang sabar. This is section. Why is it moving? Lalu berhenti saja. What is the best way? Kan? Betul lah. Tapi nak tulis sebenarnya dah beli benda Allah ni nak pakai sekonon-kononnya. Okey lah, tak boleh. Okay, fine. Section. Section declaration. Copy kan dia. Okay, macam ni. Sebab sebenarnya nak tunjuk dia punya timeline. Ni pun tak boleh. Edit. Section 4, notice. Likely to acquire. Okay. Declaration, so on kan? Okay, now. In between section 4 and section 8, you have 12 months. 12 months, ini yang nak guna 10 tu tak boleh. Okay, anyway, we can do this one. Oh no, ugly. Kenapa math? Tak apalah. 12 months. Okay, so within the 12 months period, okay, between the section 4 and section 8 notice, okay, what can be done throughout this period? You can check that your land is really acquired by going onto the land. This is form C. Form B. Section 5. Sebenarnya you give to the form B and C actually, two things at once. C is the claim kalau ada, betul tak? No, B. Betul lah, B and C. Then D is section 8. Betul. Kejap. Nak edit satu-satu pun susah. Declaration which is form D. Okay. Form D. So this one is edit form A. Okay. So form C and D can be done or can be issued to the owner throughout this 12 months period. Okay. 12 months period. But the time is rigid lah. Because if within 12 months, no section D notice is given, will form A lapse, tak kan? Yes, form A lapse. But will the acquisition process need to be renewed again? No kan? You can just issue a fresh form A. If 12 months has expired and still there's no declaration of form D. Okay, but at least there is a fixed timeline there, 12 months. Within 24 months of section 8 punya notice, mana nak lukis lagi, within this period. Okay. The form D declaration will only be valid for a period of 24 months, isn't it? 2 tahun, 24 months. If inquiry has not been made within the 24 months according to this act lah, but the interpretation is another thing. Ada yang kata 24 months tu flexible, ada yang kata must be followed by. This is what is told when you issue section 8 notice. It is only valid for 24 months period. Kalau tak percaya, look at this. So this is the one that I'm talking about. The period of mana dia D. Tak cakap juga writer declaring land required. But this one is 12 months. Okay. This one is 24 months. You need to follow the Form D with Form E. Form E is the call or the notice for the hearing, the inquiry notice. Calling the stakeholders, calling the proprietors, the lessee, the chargee to come in, all the interested parties to come in for their hearing. Okay. For the inquiry. Inquiry held where? At the land office or at the PTG, depending on the title. There's two types of titles, right? One is land office title, the other one is PTG title, the Office of Lands and Mines title. Okay. Then 12 months here, 24 months here. Then calling for the hearing or inquiry. During the inquiry, at the end of the inquiry, award will be made, okay, which then will be followed by offer of the award under Form I. Okay, so ini pun ada jangka masa, isn't it? Wasn't there a time period given for Form E notice of inquiry? Inquiry, and then followed by, kejap, let me draw again. Inquiry within which this is normally followed by on the same day or not long after that, Form G. Form G. Form G notice. Award. Written award by the ward. Okay, what written award? Form G written award must be followed either after a short while with the offer. With the offer. Offer H. Offer of award. Okay, there's a difference between G and H. Apa difference dia? Satu tu is just written award without offer. Okay, H is the offer to the proprietor. You agree or not with this particular compensation? Agree under objection. Then finally you reject, kan? 3 options given. So this is where the options are given to the proprietor, whether they agree to, whether they accept the compensation given, whether they accept under objection, or whether they totally reject the offer of compensation. So this one. So is there a timeline for Form G and Form H? Okay. Form G and Form H timeline, I don't think it's given. Is it given under the Act? Anyone remember? Ada tak yang ingat? Ada tak yang ingat? How many months delay? Ada kan? Mana dia? Virtue, princess, service, example, power bukan, written award, this one. Okay, this is the inquiry, kan? Inquiry. So when is Form G given? Is there a timeline? That was my question to you just now. Is there a fixed timeline according to the Act, Land Acquisition Act? Says here, mana tadi? Legally bound. The land administrator is required as soon as possible thereafter to assess the amount of compensation. So Form G has to be given as soon as possible thereafter, but the time, exactly, is it 12 months? Is it how? It's not given. It's not given, but as soon as possible thereafter. The only timeline after this, the only fixed timeline after this is the ability to make an objection, kan? It depends, either Form G or Form H if they appear at the during the what you call the hearing, the inquiry. It is 6 months, isn't it? Or is it 6 weeks? Ada 6 weeks if they appear at the hearing, or 6 months after. Kita kena go back to the lecture notes. I pun tak ingat. You also pun tak ingat. I lagi lah tak ingat. Okay, wait. This is week 4 lecture. Dr. Has takkan nak hafal semua benda ni. I was hoping you can answer. Tapi tak ada orang boleh jawab. So 4 is, where is my 4? 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 4. Here. This one. Bukan. It's not 4. It's 5. Proceedings. Reference to court. This one. Yeah. Okay, this one. Di mana yang 3, 6. Interested. Form G, this one. Semua orang dah lupa. Form N. This one. So this is the other fixed timeline stated under Land Acquisition Act. So the first timeline was the 12 months. Within 12 months of the issuance of Form A, the intention of land acquisition. This now must be followed by Form D. Form D is declaration that the land is confirmed to be acquired. And within 24 months of Form D must hold an inquiry. That is according to the validity of the Form D is 12 months lah. 24 months lah after service, to be followed by inquiry. Now another fixed timeline. The making of the award just now, Form G, there's no fixed timeline, but it's just saying there as soon as possible the land administrator has to make his award. Okay, but there is another timeline here, fixed timeline, which is for Form N. Form N within 6 weeks from the date of Form G written award, if present during the award, or 6 weeks from the date of acceptance of Form G, sekiranya tak hadir, or 6 months from the Form G award, sekiranya tak hadir juga, whichever period shall first expire if absent from during the award. So this is the other timeline, fixed timeline according to the Land Acquisition Act. So if you go back to the drawing just now, this one, inquiry, there's no timeline here, no timeline here. Award is made, right? Award is made. So if you want to make an objection after that, objection through objection, 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 Form N. Form N punya objection lah. Reference to court. Reference to court. There is another timeline here. What is made? Section 12 inquiry. Okay, it's fine. But from here to here, there is another timeline. So here, nama not nice. Form G, Form H. Form G and Form H, there may be different. A gap. Delay. Mesti ada satu, selalunya ada satu delay, ada ataupun satu gap from the date when the award was made and award was offered to the proprietor. So this one is normally on the same day or shortly after the inquiry. That's why I put it on the same timeline with the inquiry. Sebenarnya di notice saja. So inquiry itself is the, silap lah ni. Susahnya. Ayah. Okay. How to... Oh, this thing is so unfriendly. How do I... Sekejap. Ni apa laser, ni apa text box, ni apa circle, ni apa image. Kalau I tak nak apa-apa, I don't want to click anything, tak boleh. I want to shift this. Ayah. They cannot select. This one select. Okay. Actually, this is here. Form H, section 12 inquiry. Ini baru betul. So, this comes after this. Okay. So, there's an inquiry. Shortly after or on the day of the inquiry, the written award is made. Form H, which is offer of award, is normally after Form G. Okay, and after that only bila dapat saja tahu your written award or offer of the award, then only you feel dissatisfied and you want to bring to court, right? So there is a fixed timeline, that a window of opportunity for the objection or for the reference to be brought to court, which is inilah dia punya timeline. So this is the timeline which is, okay, like that. Which is if you, there's two qualifiers. One is if you are present. The other one is if you are absent during the inquiry. So if you are present during the inquiry, it's 6 weeks of 6 weeks of Form G. If you are absent, 6 weeks, 6 weeks of Form H, or 6 months of Form G, whichever earlier. So ini dia punya timeline for Form N. Form N reference to court. Tak boleh letak bawah ni, dah tak cukup tempat. Okay, so this is what I mean. The timeline. Here lah. Here. What is made? I think it's better. Wait, select. Just now mana dia select tu? Sticky note bukan? Bukan sticky note. Where is the select one? Ada add image. This one select. Okay. Tak boleh juga. Cancel. Okay. This is better. What is made? I want to cancel this. Ayo, semua sekali di cancel. Alright. Award is made. Betul lah ni, award is made here kan, at this point. So I just want to draw this line. This. Let's let this. So ini betul kembali. So this is the timeline. So you have here, okay, the timeline, which is for in between Form A and Form D, you have 12 months. This is fixed, or this is actually fixed and also stated. But in reality, put it aside. That's another matter lah. Tak kisahlah. Tapi under law, fixed 12 months after Form A notice, you must follow that with Form D declaration. And then with the declaration of Form D, you must follow that with the inquiry. So the inquiry must be within 24 months of Form D notice. That is the validity date of Form D declaration. Okay. This one, if there's in case of a to call for the no. This is in case of the urgent acquisition. Like I said earlier, under the joint emergency MCO order that we are facing now, the government has the ability to acquire land urgently for whatever purpose related to COVID lah. For medical facilities, for quarantine area, for burial site just now, can, and use Form I, certificate of urgency. There's no time limit here because this is for urgent cases. You can immediately get the certificate. The land administrator will apply from the state. State will issue make the application through land administrator. State authority will issue the certificate. Land administrator will give effect to the certificate of emergency. Then, okay, after 24 months or within 24 months, the inquiry must be made. It must be called. It must be followed by Form E. Form E pun bagi notice, dia kata at least, there's another timeline here. But this one is to give the benefit to the proprietor. 3 weeks, isn't it? For the proprietor to get ready with their documents. So between this one and this one, there's another time period, which is actually at least 3 weeks. To give opportunity to prepare valuation report, or to prepare with their witnesses, to prepare with their lawyer friends, legal arguments lah. Then they have the inquiry itself. On the date of inquiry, normally award is made by the land administrator. Okay. The award is made using Form G. So the date of the inquiry is very important. If the award is made on that day, but for whatever reason, maybe there's a delay, you go back and refer to Form G award. Form G date to calculate the 6 weeks. The 6 weeks from Form G, if you are present at the inquiry, to make any reference to court later on. Okay, so that's why Form G date is very important. Form H is important as well if the proprietor or if the stakeholder is not present during the inquiry. Sebab the calculation for reference to court in the case of absentee, tak datang, ialah 6 weeks from Form H or 6 months from Form G, whichever is earlier. And this time period is very important because time enlargement to meaning the extension of time. EOT to make the reference to court, normally it's very strict. The court will not give just any circumstances or just on any application. The reason for time enlargement is normally due to the mistake of the land administrator, for instance. Land administrator tak panggil, didn't call the proprietor in when making the award, for instance. So in those kind of situations, or land administrator has deliberately misled the proprietor, saying that you tak boleh nak buat, you cannot actually make any reference, padahal boleh buat. Remember the Langkawi case, the Kedah case, land administrator was held bukan negligent, deliberately kan, misrepresentation of the rights of the owner, pertaining to the rights of the owner. Dia dah silap bagi tahu apa rights of the owner, padahal owner can still make objection. So those kind of things or those kind of excuses or rationale of reasons may enable time enlargement, tapi it's case by case basis and only for very limited circumstances where in which case the court will allow for the time enlargement. Other cases, kalau kecuaian, if it's the negligence on the part of the proprietor themselves ataupun to claim ignorance, saya tak tahu, that is no excuse, yeah. So these are the timelines. Can I change this into another color? Let me just see. I don't think so. Normal. Can. So I put it in red. Macam tu. Okay. So these are the timelines that we are talking about. Why? Why do I raise this issue? Because this is related. These links. Dia links or it connects to principles that we discussed just now, which is this one, principle number 1, the right to be given notice is one of the rights guaranteed under federal the constitution, because must follow the law punya provisions. The second principle that is linked to it is expeditious inland acquisition matters. When you set the timeline or the time period for each notice, it means that you can make sure that the process of land acquisition or the procedure does not take too long, does not it's not delayed, and it's fair to the proprietor. Okay. Other principles are the right to speak and make objection. Land acquisition is not made with malafide or abuse of power or ultra vires. This malafide, ultra vires, the other one, you throw around the word negligence and those kind of things, you cannot later on, if you work, cannot simply accuse the other party of this kind of things, because the burden to prove these wrongdoings ataupun these torts is on you, the accuser. Faham tak? And salah silap-silap, not only you cannot prove the accusation of misconduct just not the malafide ataupun ultra vires or negligence, or if your evidence is not strong enough, or if your evidence is not there, missing tak ada evidence pun, you may be sued under slander pula, fitnah. Fitnah is another tort. Jangan lupa tu, dah kerja nanti dalam moot court boleh lah nak you want to accuse people, but later on please use these words carefully, negligence or malafide or ultra vires dan sebagainya, abuse of power. Then land administrator must conduct a complete inquiry in the land acquisition proceeding. Complete now. So complete in the sense that must call all the witnesses, must call for all the relevant documents, and so on. Equivalence in compensation. Equivalence in compensation is related to what you learn with Professor Anwar all this while. Yang you belajar all the how to calculate the compensation amount, which is land value plus all the claimable, all the compensation punya matters tu, which is injurious affection, severance, tolak betterment, and so on. Must not make the owner better off or worse off than how he was before the acquisition. Tak boleh bagi dia sangat untung ataupun sangat rugi. Kadang-kadang selalunya the bias is towards untung lah sikit, because you want to compensate for the kesusahan tu, for the unseen, for the intangible punya difficulties or problems that he is facing, but not to punish the landowner lah, who is involved in the compensation. Okay, land administrator's duty. So this, after all that we've talked about, the notices, the procedure, things that happen during the land acquisition, these are the duties under section under Act 486, as we compile before lah. That's what we've learned. So 4 and 8, the duties are to issue notification and make declaration. So regarding the first steps in before the inquiry, before the determination of the compensation, dia mestilah mengesahkan. He must make sure that the land is legally acquired through these two notices. Okay, section 4 and section 8 notice. Okay, notification. Section 6, decide on disputes for damage. If the what you call the acquiring party or their servants, their officers go into the land and cause any damage to the land. Remember land, the definition. Land is anything on the land, under the land, attached to the land, kan? Termasuk land covered by water. So the definition of land is wide. It's besar kan, ada 5 elements of land. So anyway, if any damage is done on any of the elements of land, tak kira lah the land itself, dia masuk, mungkin dia cause land erosion, for instance, because of the fact that they may carry heavy machinery, or during their soil investigation they damage what you call that, batas, or apa batas, if you agri land, batas is what is batas? Anybody knows batas in English?
Boundary.
Again?
Boundary,
itu batasan. Okay, now batas, you know, if you plant sayur, you have the batas tu, dia panggil apa, what do you call that, plots. You know, if you do any planting on the land lah, especially for vegetables and things like that, normally you raise the land above the ground level to enable to avoid the roots from being drowned in water, macam tu lah. So it is raised above ground level kan. So you call those batas or plots lah. Naik sikit. Okay, anyway, so maybe when doing soil investigation is penyiasatan tanah. Macam sounds funny. Anyway, the people from the geologists, for instance, comes in and they dig deeply, very deep kan, on your vegetable plot. They cause damage. So those kind of damages can be claimed against the acquiring party. Okay. Not just that, okay, buildings or fence, your fence is can be knocked down and maybe damaged. What else? A few trees may be cut down because they want to do some survey on the land. Maybe they cut down a mango tree, they cut down a coconut tree or whatever to place their surveying surveying instruments kan, survey instruments on the land. So those kind of damages may be claimed against the acquiring party. Okay, so who decides on how much? This one lah, land administrator. Prepare plan and list of lands to be acquired also under the land administrator. They have a very major role here, because the list of lands together with the land area, they have to make sure that the details are correct. And if you can imagine, for MRT, for LRT, for ECRL, for the cases that involve thousands of small lots, for instance, and one lot maybe, or one parcel of land may have more than one owner. They have to make sure all the details are correct. And that's why in your moot court, if you can recall, there are errors in terms of land acquired ke. Ada satu tu, tapi that one was zoning. Zoning was not the responsibility of the land administrator to find out. It's the responsibility of the government valuer and also private valuer. But again, later on, if you work, all the details that you require to help you in coming up with your value, okay, evidence to must be seboleh-bolehnya in black and white. At least an email between you and the person that you check the fact just now. At least. If yang lagi better, if you can find a reference number. For instance, you say the building is a legal building. The building plan has been submitted under reference number blah 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 blah. Or the zoning was checked under the local plan Kuala Lumpur, reference number blah blah blah, page number even blah blah blah. Okay, so must have in black and white. You cannot just rely on officer's name blah, 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 on that day. If you want to rely on that person, you must submit also an affidavit that is agreed. That is a statement by that particular officer just now. Dia kena agree lah that she gave the statement. And remember, you cannot lie under oath kan. So that is why we can rely on the affidavit given by your witness. Conduct inquiry. Okay, then another, number 9, obtain relevant information on the land. Obtain if required. So I think this is where the planning permission semua tu, planning standards or planning details is the responsibility, but they just forward kepada it's just that once they acquire all the planning punya details on the land, must be checked again by the government valuer. Government valuer cannot simply rely on information given by the land administrator, because they must remember that the land administrator may deal with a large number of lots and may make mistakes when compiling the schedule, the list of land schedule. Then what else? The list of scheduled land. Okay, itu sebenarnya. Then commence proceedings and related matters according to section 10 is called for inquiry, 11 is the inquiry itself. 12, 13, 17 conduct the inquiry. Okay, commence to calling the notice just now. 10, section E, notice. The 12, 13, 17 tu is the proceeding itself. The action or the procedure during the siasatan, inquiry siasatan. And also their power, the administrator's power during the inquiry is court power to call for witness, to administer oath and things like that. Section 14, 16, make and deliver award. Okay. Section 14 is the form form G. 16 H. Section 15 enter into negotiation, maybe tangible, intangible punya cash or non-cash punya partial compensation, can negotiate with the owner. 18 take possession of land. 23 take possession means physically and also must make sure that you enter into the title that the land has been taken possession. 23 registration of acquired land is also the duty of the land administrator. Registration of the new one, kita panggil, we call it title in continuity. Hak milik sambungan. Hak milik sambungan to the old title. So this was something that I intended to mention during your moot court, because I noticed there was a title that you brought in. And atas tu, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a red chalk. Dia kata kat situ hak milik sambungan, if I'm not mistaken. So hak milik sambungan is anything that is the balance of the land after acquisition. So it may continue to a new title number, to a new lot number. But still carries the they call it the trace lah, some details of the old one. Tetapi, but then again, you remember torrent system, there are two principles, the mirror principle, and the important one is the curtain principle. So that means that curtain to stop you from referring to the old principle, to the old title. That's why you just rely on the new title, curtain principle. Betul. So tak perlulah you korek balik, oh the old title is under agri land zoning. No. You check what is now. What is the new title? Okay, new title. Because again, torrent system, curtain principle. You don't look beyond the current title. Section 36 is reference to court on certain matters. The land administrator is able on his own motion or upon application by dissatisfied parties to make the application for reference to court. So it's either on his own motion is Form M. On application by the dissatisfied party, Form N, MNN. Okay, so that's all I think lah. So we have covered everything except for this one, this flow chart. Okay, just now. Okay, if you see, there's the mistake is here actually on prepare land. So this is not Form D. Section is correct. The section is correct. Form D is wrong. No, betul. Maksudnya di sini, I know now why they put Form D. Form D here because the land schedule, the schedule of land or the schedule land, tanah berjadual tu will be attached at the back of Form D. Betul lah jawapan dia. So it's not wrong. I apologize. So betul. Nanti tak cakap pun kat sini. So means that section 7 enables the preparation of a plan and list of the land for the purpose of attachment together with the Form D. Form D is the declaration that the land is being acquired. Declaration memang confirm tanah itu akan acquire. See there, the validity period, the timeline that we discussed just now. Form A 12 months, Form D 2 years and 24 months. Then after Form D punya declaration, you go and start with the inquiry process. 9 is land marking, confirm already, then marking by the land administrator, both in the title and also physically on the land itself, and the land administrator will receive the valuation report by JPPH just now. Then prepare for the inquiry. Section 10, Form E notice will be issued to the interested parties. Then this one is the inquiry itself, 12, 13, 14. Full inquiry, call witness, G. So to be read together with 17. 17 is the summary inquiry. Kalau katakan terlalu, too many lands. The acquisition involves too many lands with small portions of land, or too many lands, small portions of land, too many owners. So a summary inquiry may be conducted lah, instead of a full inquiry. Summary inquiry tu ringkas, siasatan ringkas dipanggil. Okay. Now we go to section 11 just now. Give public notice for hearing. Yes. Again, notice, there's two types, right? We call it public notice, where the land administrator will follow the requirement under section 52 juga, which is dia mesti tampal on the property itself, on the neighboring land, on the notice board of the land office or at any public place. Remember that one? Okay, that is the public. Another type of notice is the private notice lah, individual notice lah. Individual notice given directly to the proprietor, directly to the interested party. For instance, calling for inquiry, that notice will be given directly. Or D, just now, directly given, plus the public notice. So in some cases, only private notice, private/individual notice is given. In some cases, both are given, which is private/individual plus private notice. Kenapa public tu mesti beri? Because want to inform the neighbours, want to inform any interested party that may not receive the private or / individual notice just now, that please be aware that your land is being acquired. It has been declared to be acquired. This is the inquiry date of the land. So if you have interest, you may come on that day, and you may submit to an application to the land administrator to be heard, untuk didengari. Okay. Then from H, G and H just now. Okay. G, award. H is the award offer. Different award offer, written award offer, two different things. One is for office use, the other one is to be given to the to be offered to the proprietor. Now go back to your contract law, Contracts Act. Okay, there is invitation to treat, there is offer, there is acceptance, then only there is agreement. Faham? So invitation to treat dalam kes ni, maybe it's not that. Invitation to treat is the negotiation process, is the hearing itself, whereby the proprietor is given the right to state their case, kan? Offer is the land administrator's notice in form H to the proprietor. Look, this is what we are offering you. Then kemudian barulah ada acceptance from then only there will be acceptance from the proprietor. There's actually three, like we said before, three choices, which is to accept totally, to accept with under objection, or to reject, kan. So there are three choices lah. But upon signing the Form H, to whether you agree or not agree, that is when the agreement is made between yourself and also the land administrator. Okay, land administrator. So kalau you agree totally, that's it lah, full stop. But if you agree under objection, then you are given an opportunity to pursue the objection lah, to bring further the objection to court. Objection ada tak? Yes or no? Yes, to whole amount of compensation 25%, and the case to be settled with or without referring to court. No award of compensation by land administrator. Again, even if they go to court, even if they go to court, high court kan, high court, high court then later on not satisfied with high court's decision, you can only bring the matter up on the point of law, not the point of compensation. Okay, I think that's all for today from me. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions on your side? Any question? This is just recap my side. So I haven't touched on the compensation, because that one I expect Prof Anwar to give to you the lecture on Wednesday. I think he has agreed as well. Any question?
Dr. Has.
Yes.
For the mock test just now, the question 2B, is it the time frame? The time frame just now can be the answer for the question 2B.
Mana kejap. Let me just have a look online. 2B, yes, dengan bantuan gambar rajah. That's what. Yeah, that was the answer just now that we discussed. Yeah. So by using a diagram, discuss. Let me just share with you. Present now. Entire screen. Entire screen. Allow. Okay, this one. Dengan bantuan gambar rajah, this one. By using a diagram, discuss how notices under Land Acquisition Act have their own time limit to ensure the expeditiousness of land acquisition. So this is what we've been talking about for in this recapitulation. Just now I said that this the principles of land acquisition ada 6 just now kan, 6 or 7, can't remember. But the ones that we discussed just now, notices, and also how the land acquisition needs to be expeditious. That's why we have the time limits, and that's why you the time limits are there to ensure that the process is done systematically, is done secara systematic, secara lancar, efficiently, so that everybody knows there is a time limit against them. So not and this time limit is not only for the benefit of the proprietor, but also the benefit of the administrator, of the acquiring party, so that they know, okay, you have until this date to confirm your acquisition. For instance, you have administrator, you have until this date to call for inquiry, for instance. So at least they have a guideline, or they have a guide when to conduct what, how to conduct what, when lah, especially it's not what, when to conduct what, so that they are guided during the land acquisition process, but for both parties, not only for the proprietor but also for the land administrator and also the acquiring party lah, so they know the timeline. But of course, the acquiring party will want to take possession of the land quickly, right? So if they don't follow the certificate of urgency punya route, if they follow the normal route, if the hearing takes so long to be organized, of course for them it will mean extra cost, for instance, holding costs, or it will mean delays in other matters of their proposed development, for instance. So they don't want that. They want everything to be organized. They want to plan ahead, kan? So that's why it's good for both parties to have the timeline, not only for the proprietors punya side, but all, which is we say want to maintain, want to observe the requirement under federal constitution, right? But also it is beneficial to the acquiring parties and to the land administrator. Any other question? AK, your mom check for what? Cannot hear lah. Cannot hear, so tak apalah, it's okay lah. Anyway, I think I need to go now because I have to prepare for the other mock exam. I hope everybody studies for the exam. Okay, make sure you take note of what we discussed during during this recap punya lecture, ya. Okay.
I have one question regarding the mock exam just now, right? If I use the laptop, then the laptop webcam, then I cannot use my laptop. It's very hard to see because the angle is very weird. So can I use my phone for the webcam? But during I have to take picture of my answer sheet, right? Then I have to change to the webcam.
Switching just now, kan? Why the angle was so weird? Can you push away your laptop a little bit? You use laptop or PC?
Away already, but
cannot.
If I use my phone, I can see my face and the answer sheet.
No, but later on, no. I think better not use your phone. But later on, you want to snap your photo, nanti you panic and things like that. Don't want. No, just use the webcam. Cannot. You cannot change the angle lah. Cannot, like what Ryan did just now was sideways. Tak boleh sideways macam tu.
Sideways. Because if want to see the answer sheet, right, I have to make the angle.
But how come the Brian one just now works? Why? How come you work just now? I think it's how you put your laptop also.
Oh, I see.
You practice lah. You try after this. As long as you can see a little bit, as you can see what you are writing and things like that.
Okay.
But I advise not to use your phone for the webcam. Sebab nanti later on, I think lah, most people struggle, and then you panic, then all other kind of things after that. You know, I want everybody to be calm, to be relaxed during the exam. Just focus saja lah. The webcam is just for us to observe you, kan? So biar sajalah, walaupun angle tak cantik ke, it's okay. As long as you don't do the prohibition just now, which is discussion. Don't do that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, I think that's all from me. I need to go to the other class. They are waiting for me. Okay, everybody, all the best. Remember, this is your second last semester. Ya ke? Kesiannya dah nak tinggal ke UM dah. Okay, hopefully everything goes well, ya. If you have any issues, flooding or sakit or whatever, remember you still have the grade I that you can use. But I would advise against. I think if you seboleh-bolehnya try to complete everything this semester rather than use the grade I, because we have had problems with grade I. Nanti ada bila masuk saja next semester, you have to focus on next sem's lessons, kan? At the same time, you have to finish the exam from this semester. So you are doing two things at once and not advisable. If possible, finish everything this semester. But again, you are given the opportunity to use grade I if you have any emergencies on the exam day itself. For instance, contoh, God forbid, na'udzubillah, katakan flood suddenly, fresh flood ataupun laptop rosak or whatever lah kan, sakit, COVID or whatever kan. So you are given the opportunity to apply for grade I. Okay, so that's all from me. Don't worry so much, okay, just study. Bye everyone. Bye. Need to go. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome.